You have such fascinating insights. So I want to start by getting your reaction to Tulsi Gabbard recently posting on her Twitter that she's leaving the Democrat Party. Listen.
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism, who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, who are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, who demonize the police but protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Now, I believe in a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for the powerful elite. Now, I'm calling on my fellow common sense, independent-minded Democrats to join me in leaving the Democratic Party. If you can no longer stomach the direction that the so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, then I invite you to join me.
So, Jack, I want to get your reaction.
Well, I think it's very interesting. So Tulsi Gabbard, and if we remember correctly, she did resign all the way back in 2016 as the vice chair of the Democratic Party. And so to see her now leaving the party completely, it doesn't come as a huge surprise. I think a lot of people saw this move coming. It's something that she certainly telegraphed. I mean, she's spoken at CPAC. She's guest hosted for Tucker Carlson. She's appeared at events with myself, with James O'Keefe and others. I've had the chance to talk with her offline a little bit. She's definitely riding this wave that I really think is the wave of the future of politics. What do I mean by that? I mean that the consistent thing that you see with Tulsi, as opposed to other Democrats or really leftists in particular, is that there's a lot of places where she'll say, look, I disagree with conservatives on maybe 80% of things. I don't think we agree with Tulsi Gabbard on social issues, particularly. But if there are things like law and order, if there are things like the economy, if there are things like foreign policy where we can find agreement, or these issues of censorship, these issues, I mean, look what PayPal did this week, or almost did, they attempted to censor everybody, that she is broadly in agreement with. Also, she's a Second Amendment supporter. I think that there is a space where we can actually get out of this sort of deadlocked feud of just left versus right all the time, and actually kind of get back to a new place where we make it about the people versus the establishment. And then even if we disagree on some of these fundamental issues, like the issue of life, like issues of marriage, like so many other issues out there, that we can at least agree on other things, maybe climate, something where we can come to agreement on, maybe not massive carbon taxes for the entire society, but actually come to an agreement on fourth generation nuclear power in our country and revitalizing our own American industry while continuing, again, to support the jobs out of fracking, the LNG industry in the United States, particularly Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, hopefully New York, maybe if Zeldin wins, that I think we really can get to a new place in our politics. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like or what that's called, but I think that this wave that Tulsi's on is part of that.
Absolutely. And I think the great thing, too, about people like Tulsi is hopefully they can even try to win in places that are blue. Like she's from Hawaii, other places. I feel like that people want common sense. I mean, we can't tear down people like her if they are in a blue place.